The release of Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance is upon us, and I know that this will be a lot of people's first exposure to Megaten as a whole. I was recently asked on Twitter if I could provide some tips to any newcomers to the series. That's when I had the idea to survey my followers and get their opinions on the matter. Just know that the footage that you see on the screen in front of you is from the original release of SMT5 because I haven't recorded footage from Vengeance yet. So, what are some good tips for SMT5 Vengeance for beginners? Well, I'm here to help you with that. Sit back, relax, and let's get it on. The first tip concerns the game's combat system, the press turn battle system. The number of turns your team has is represented by these symbols on the screen. The number of turns you have is predetermined by the number of members your party has. So if you have a total of 3 party members, you get 3 turns. If you have 4 party members, you get 4 turns. As you attack or use skills, the symbols start to disappear, indicating that your turns are over and it's time for the opponent to act. You can land critical hits or hit an enemy's weakness. If you do that, the symbol can start glowing, indicating that you have earned another half turn. The next teammate in line can act as though you never use up your last turn, which can make for some really cool combos. Another mechanic in this system that doesn't get talked about enough is the ability to pass a turn. If you feel like your teammate can't land a hit on an opponent because the opponent is strong to an ability or can nullify their moves, you can pass your action to your next teammate in line. The turn symbols will start glowing again, indicating that this is a half turn. This is very helpful if one of your demons is at a disadvantage against an enemy and can't really land a hit, or if you need an extra action for healing or so forth. There's just so many ways to use this system. Just be careful, the computer can use the exact same system, so if they land a critical hit on you on your weakness, they can act again, which can leave your party fucked if taken advantage of. As you can see, this system is very easy to understand, but really intuitive. Those are just the basics that I've gone over. When you don't use the system to your full advantage, you'll struggle during battle. However, using the system the correct way can lead to some really fucking cool combos and strategy in order for you to progress throughout the game. One of the biggest components to surviving battles in Megaten is the knowledge for you to know when to buff your allies or to debuff your enemies. Let's say that you're in a big boss fight and you're noticing that your attacks aren't doing as much damage as you would like. You can use an attack up skill such as Tarakaja to increase you or your allies' attack. At the same time, you could also use a defense down skill such as Rakunda to lower your enemy's defenses. It's very important to make sure you have at least one of these skills on each party member so you can turn the tide of battle in tough situations. In addition to these skills, there are also certain skills that allow you to cancel an enemy's buffs or to nullify debuffs placed onto your own team. These moves are Dekunda and Dekaja, and are very important to use, especially in fights where the enemy relies on lowering your stats to gain the upper hand. In SMT5 Vengeance, you'll be exploring the world of Dot. The world is full of surprises and places to explore. Whatever you do, do not rush the areas and try to plow through the game. Learn the areas, do side quests to gain more items that you can use in battle, and gain more experience. While you explore the areas and get into fights, you'll notice that a lot of the same enemies will appear in the areas that you're in. It's important to get to know these demons and craft a good team to deal with their weaknesses. A good way to do that is through an item called Spyglass. This will allow you to assess an enemy's affinities and find the best way to attack them. Fusion in Megaten is the act of taking 2 or more demons and combining them together to make a brand new demon with some skills that carry over from the fusion materials. Now, you may think that you have a good demon, but know that demons do not level up as fast as the protagonist does. Do not get attached to your demons at all. A demon can earn skills as they level up, but these stop after a few levels and progress can really stagnate. That's why it's important to fuse for new demons that you can use in battle frequently. This will make sure that your party isn't falling behind when it comes to leveling up and allow you to mix and match skills within your group. Another mistake that I constantly see with new players is that they'll try to stick a bunch of elemental attacks onto one demon. Please do not do this. While it's okay to have a couple of different elemental attacks for a single demon, you'll want to spread these different attacks throughout your party. You don't want to run into a battle where you're stuck with only one teammate that can exploit an enemy's weakness. Give your teammates buff and debuff skills in addition to elemental attacks. Give them nullifying abilities. Spread everything out and give your team a good balance of skills to take down everyone that stands in your way. Now, the rest of these tips are going to kind of be smaller in length, but they're also very important to know, so just pay attention for a second. For one, Mitamas are SMT5's rare enemies. These can be tough to find, but the rewards for beating them are fantastic and can include items to level up your protagonist, your party, or even items that you can sell for a lot of currency at the shop. The next tip. Remember that this is not a short game. Enemies can be hard to beat at times, so it's important that you save often and don't lose your progress. Trust me, I've dealt with this plenty of times, and sometimes it feels like I've never even learned this lesson. Last tip is to play however you want, and most importantly, have fun. Don't look up builds for your protagonists online, and don't look up enemy weaknesses. The fun part about Megaton is learning the game and overcoming obstacles on your own. Know that some of it is trial and error, and don't kick yourself for failing a boss fight on the first attempt. Have fun. After all, this is video games, and it's a form of entertainment. Now, I know this has been a lot of info, and that Megaton can sometimes be a little intimidating to get into, but I really think SMT5 Vengeance is a fantastic place to start with the series. It's not overly difficult in my opinion for a newcomer, and the core mechanics that you learn within the game will carry over to other games in the series. If you take these tips into consideration, I have no doubt that you'll have a great time in the world of Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. Thank you all for watching the video, and thank you for everyone for their tips on Twitter. Do you have any tips for beginners? Leave them in the comments down below. Until next time, make sure you like the video if you found it useful, and subscribe for more Atlas content. I'll catch you guys later, and enjoy SMT5 Vengeance. King